The law of harmony is a philosophy and unified theory on how the world works. It purports that you can, in essence, harmonize and receive anything you want. It's an umbrella term that describes how thoughts are able to interact and influence the external physical world. It's all over the sciences, including self-fulfilling prophecy, self-defeating prophecy, Streisand effect, perverse results, victim mentality, cobra effect, placebo effect, nocebo effect, Pygmalion effect, Gollum effect, homophily, Goodhart's law, perverse incentives, behavior confirmation effect, boomerang effect, and psychological reactance, to name a few.
As all unified theories are, attempting to explain everything, they are not suitable for sound bites. There are countless nuances, and it needs to be studied in depth. What it's not: toxic positivity, victim blaming, an extension of the little engine that could philosophy, or a method to force others to do your will. This video series covers the philosophy and its practical application. I will present this concisely using the best scientific evidence available. This way you can rewatch it without repetitive stories. The more this philosophy is embraced, the happier and more fulfilled with life you will be. Your relationships will be richer and more delicious, and the healthier your physical body will be. Everything is science-backed, and I ask you not to judge by its theories, science, or facts, but by its fruits. Part 1. Foundation. All pleasures are substitutes for joy. The purpose of life is joy, not mere hedonic pleasure, but genuine, soul-satisfying joy. It's why you came. The basis of this life is freedom. Free will abounds in all circumstances. The result of the basis and purpose of life is growth. But note, growth isn't the purpose, it's the result. The purpose is still joy, because when you seek true joy, that means you are connected to an infinite power and have complete harmony. You are here to express your own unique true self. Always be an expression of your own true essence. Anita Morgiani. Law of Harmony 101. Welcome to the first day of Harmony 101, a philosophy that purports you can, in essence, harmonize with anything you want. Living life will give you contrasting experiences, and that will help inspire desire within you. That's unavoidable and a good thing. You can't know what you want without experiencing what you don't want first. Once you have discovered what you don't want, then you can work on getting in harmony or alignment with your new desire. Once you are in harmony with it and feel good about it, then the universe will deliver to you the shortest, fastest, quickest, easiest, cheapest path, and it will be a path of inspiration, not of trial and errors or a numbers game. Along your path there will be indicators of your harmony. Every manifestation will let you know what you are in harmony with. If it feels good, you are on the path. If it feels bad, you are off the path. That's how you can know if you are getting closer or further away. Here is Harmony's 101 outline. Almost all questions and confusions about harmony are resolved if you understand these three primary factors in depth. 1. Any action taken from a place of lack will do nothing at best, or will backfire at worst. 2. Your thoughts are your point of harmony. Actions, rituals, happy-sounding words don't matter unless they change your thoughts. 3. Always and only focus on the end result. Let's do a deep dive into each of these. This means that if something makes you feel bad, scared, angry, or receive any indication of negative emotion, and you jump into action to try and fix it, your results will be fruitless at best, or you will get the opposite effect at worst because you didn't get in harmony with what you wanted first. Modern psychological science calls this the law of unintended consequences, or psychological reactance. Colloquially, it's called the Streisand effect. Yes, after the actor Barbra Streisand. Someone was working on an environmental project taking pictures of the California coastline. The project's goal was to document coastal erosion to influence government policymakers. As riveting as this project sounds, sadly, nobody really much looked or cared about this project or even looked at the pictures. Barbra Streisand's house was in the background of one of these pictures, but it infuriated her that it was on the internet. They didn't label her house or put her name on it or anything like that, but she was livid. She sued the photographer with a $50 million privacy lawsuit. Now, what's interesting is that when they filed the lawsuit, the photo focused on the eroding coastline with her house in the background had been seen a grand total of 4 times. That's until the lawsuit became public 1 month later, and the photo had now been seen 420,000 times. She lost the lawsuit and was forced to pay back all the defendants' attorney fees. In her attempts to take action from a place of lack, trying to make sure nobody saw her house, more people than ever saw her house. Taking action from a feeling place of lack totally backfired on her, and this applies to health, wealth, relationships, everything. And this isn't a new awareness either. This phenomenon was recorded 2,400 years ago in China, pronounced Qinjairu, translated as wishing to cover, more conspicuous. This is just how the universe is set up. And we don't even need to look at ancient history or the Streisand effect because we've experienced and witnessed this in our own lives. It's such a common phenomenon, it's a trope, as we all have heard these stories. For example, what happens to the man who gets rejected by a woman and he thinks it's about his height or his physique? He gets furiously upset and angrily drives to the gym, racks on the weight and starts pumping ferociously. Yep, he gets injured. And what happens to the angry woman who screeches, "I'm just sick of men using me. I want a decent man for once." Who does she find at the clubs? Yep, the worst one of all, one that uses her like no other did before. And we all know people who are petrified of germs, toxins, dirt, and how much time they spend sterilizing and mask wearing, and yet their kids are the ones who are sick all the time. But I hope you've picked up on the fact that we have sort of a conundrum here. You wouldn't take action unless you felt bad or wanted to fix something. So what are we supposed to do? Everything is created metaphysically or spiritually first, just like a chair was first in the mind of the craftsman. When we don't take time to create and thus harmonize with what we want first, the outcome will do nothing at best and backfire at worst. For example, if we wanted to build a house and got to the job site with piles of material sitting there and we told everyone just start nailing boards together with no direction, there is no way a house would ever be constructed. So, whenever we experience something we don't want, we want to stop right there. It is in this stage of clarity that you know best what you do want. Armed with this newfound and well-earned clarity, we can go forth and use harmony to get what we want, in essence. After Part 1 Foundation of Harmony 101, we will teach you in detail how to move from a place of lack to a feeling place of abundance, and then be in harmony with taking inspired action. Your thoughts are your point of harmony. Actions, rituals, or happy-sounding words don't matter unless they change your thoughts. How you think about something is like tuning the radio dial. Only your hands can touch your own radio dial. You have the absolute power to think about anything you want to. You have the freedom to think whatever you want to think. For example, if you sit down and start writing, "Things that I love about my beloved." As you write, you have tuned to this station. You will write everything you can think of, but then you will start to get more and more things to write down. They are just popping into your head because, like a radio, you have tuned to this station. Do this every day and more things will come to you. You have harmonized with things that you appreciate about your beloved, and thus you will get more of that. And it is your conscious thoughts that are your point of attraction. Some people give their control away, never a good idea, and say that they aren't where they want to be because they must have some subconscious thoughts holding them back. This is not true because only your active thoughts are your point of harmony. In the previous example, without sitting down and writing each day the things you appreciate about your beloved, you would never just start to have things you appreciate about them pop into your head. Those thoughts were the result of consciously tuning. So you don't need to worry about your subconscious thoughts, as they can't harmonize with you because you're not even consciously aware of them. This notion of subconscious thoughts was coined by Sigmund Freud, but he quickly recanted as it's not a provable thing. You can't, and nobody can, label subconscious beliefs or thoughts they have, because in that second, it's conscious. And that's what the word means, below conscious thought. It's basically a blame game. Remember how blame feels better than guilt? Some say, I certainly would not have rendezvoused with that. It must be something else. Subconscious beliefs, yes, they did it. It must have been those because I didn't do it to myself. The sooner we drop the blame game and acknowledge that we have control, then we are empowered. That's the tipping point in which your whole life will start to change, because if we did it, we can undo it. If subconscious beliefs did it, then we can never know if we undid it. So things like subliminal messaging or listening to affirmations while we sleep, as all the scientific studies confirm, they are ineffective. Only our conscious thoughts are our point of attraction, and we have the power to think about anything we want to at any time. Can you think about a pink elephant now if you choose to? Now, some people say it's too hard to think thoughts about a subject, and I understand when you stub your toe and it's throbbing in pain, it's sometimes all we can think about. Viktor Frankl was a Jewish psychiatrist sent to the Nazi concentration camps in Auschwitz, and he realized that, quote, despite the cruelty visited on prisoners by the guards, the beatings, the torture, and the constant threats of death, there was one part of their lives that remained free: their own minds. The hopes, imagination, and dreams of prisoners were up to them, despite their awful circumstances. This inner ability was the real human freedom. Frankl learned that regardless of the circumstances, we all still have the absolute power to think any thoughts we want to. Life happens, but we are in control of how we relate to those events. Now, we all have to admit that our lives are really not more difficult than being in a Nazi concentration camp. So if he can do it, so can we. We can find better thoughts on all subjects. Sometimes it's true we are literally in throbbing pain, like the mourning loss of a loved one, and the pain is just too consuming. This is when we have license for healthy distraction, like binge watch a funny show, take lots of warm baths, go on lawn walks, or chat up with friends. The pain will fade, and we can work on changing our thoughts later. 3. Always and only focus on the end result. In essence, in the first part of this video, I said that you can harmonize with anything you want in essence. What does in essence mean? Well, let's tell a story. A fellow was stuck on his rooftop in a flood. He was praying to God for help. Soon a man in a rowboat came by, and the fellow shouted to the man on the roof, "Jump in, I can save you." The stranded fellow shouted back, "No, it's okay. I'm praying to God that he is going to save me." So the rowboat went on. Then a motorboat came by. The fellow in the motorboat shouted, "Jump in, I can save you." To this, the stranded man said, "No thanks. I'm praying to God and he is going to save me. I have faith." So the motorboat went on. Then a helicopter came by and the pilot shouted, "Grab this rope, I will lift you to safety." To this, the stranded man replied again, "No thanks, I'm praying to God and he is going to save me. I have faith." So the helicopter reluctantly flew away. Soon the water rose above the rooftop and the man drowned. He went to heaven. He finally got his chance to discuss the whole situation with God, in which he exclaimed, "I had faith in you, but you didn't save me. You let me down. I don't understand why." To this, God replied, "I sent you a rowboat and a motorboat and a helicopter. What more did you expect?" We don't know exactly precisely what this man was waiting for, but in essence, he was wanting to be rescued. His problem is the problem of many. The universe is sending you the essence of what you really want, but for some reason, since it doesn't look exactly like what we have been intending, we discount it. You can have anything you want in essence means that while you may not receive the exact thing that you wanted, if you are in harmony, you will still get the essence of your desire. It just may look differently than you thought, and that's a very good thing. How we find the essence of our desire is to keep asking yourself, and why do I want that? The bottom line is generally you want to be more of who you are. You want to have a good feeling body. You want freedom. You want clarity. You want happiness. Don't be like the man who turned away everything just because he thought it didn't seem like what he envisioned. Some people may think they want a relationship with one specific person, and that's their intention. If this is anybody's intention, it shows lack of trust in the universe and a fundamental misunderstanding of harmony. Why? Because you may think this person checks every box, but the universe knows that you want a lifelong monogamous relationship, you want to have your own kids, you want someone that loves to travel, who is a good parent, or countless other harmonic intentions. You don't know what the future brings with this specific person, but the universe does. That's why you have to trust that the universe does know your intentions and is always 100% of the time matching you up with what the harmonic offering you are giving off. Yes, you can 100% ignore the universe, not making it flow with ease and still get together, but one day you'll find out why. Yeah, you might have a pile of kids and need to go through a hellish divorce, or every day is a waking nightmare, but you get the freedom to ignore the universe's indicators of why it wasn't super easy and flowy with them all the time. This is why you need to trust the universe. So I work with people all the time who successfully and properly set their intention, got in alignment with their desires, and they are genuinely satisfied in the now, eager for more, which is the perfect stance for all life. And then boom, something seemingly unwanted happens. For example, their significant other breaks up with them, they lose their job, or any other seemingly unwanted things. And do you know what happens to too many? Most downward spiral, getting angry and bitter, hating this harmonic work. If they just trusted the universe and relaxed a bit, and knew that everything was happening because of their intentions and alignment, things would continue to improve, and I'm going to scientifically prove it. Do you remember from the previous video about the morning of the 9/11 attacks? The 4 planes, and just those 4 planes for some reason, had about half of the passengers they usually did. These 4 flights were typically lower passenger-filled flights, but on just that day, they were all half as full as they normally were, 31% on aggregate. Statistically, 1 plane could be explained, 2, however, cannot. 3 flights are not even the realm of real numbers, and 4 is so astronomically beyond all explainable probabilities that something metaphysical is certainly going on here. Since we are studying harmonic law, we know what the answer is. The missing people were more in harmony to living that day. Among them were Michael Jackson, Seth MacFarlane, and Mark Wahlberg, and many more. They were all supposed to be on the flights or in that building. Seth was told the wrong time, 8:15 instead of 7:45, and Mark thought it would be more fun to charter a jet with his friends instead. Similarly, when the Twin Towers collapsed, they should have had about 6,000 people in them, yet only about half were in there. Similar evidence was found about train crashes in the 1950s. Back up a bit, and there were a lot of upset people that fateful day. Some experienced their car breaking down. Their family made them late for work. They got sick. They missed the bus. Their family got sick, so they stayed home. They spent too much time at breakfast with their friend. There were no taxis to be found. They were told the wrong time to go to the airport. They missed their flight. They missed their subway. They got in a fender bender. Or they got fired the week before. Or. Literally thousands of events happened that made them not be at the wrong place at the wrong time. If one of those seemingly unwanted events happened to you, at face value, you may think, why did I attract this into my life? Maybe they did too, but little did they know the universe was literally saving their life. Now, is the universe only working on big traumatic events? No, that's silly. Is the universe only working when death is on the line? No, that's ridiculous. It is an irrefutable fact that the universe is working all day, 24/7, 365, and you are unknowingly missing all kinds of unwanted things every single day. We've all personally experienced some, if not all, of those types of unwanted, inexplicable events. Just because we don't have correlate data like our office didn't blow up or our plane didn't crash doesn't mean that we are not saved in a very literal way from unwanted people, events, accidents, conversations, diseases, jobs, relationships, traffic, being late or early, missed getting a traffic light or ticket, not getting a job, etc. all the time. So it's worth pondering. Einstein said the most important question in all of life is it a friendly universe? With the knowledge of harmony, do you see how empowering Einstein's question is? If something seemingly bad or unwanted happens to you, if you know the universe is friendly and has your back, are you in anger or appreciation? You're a student of harmony. You are in appreciation. Are you ever going to know what worst thing the universe saved you for with the seemingly bad or unwanted thing happening to you? 99.99% of the time, no. But you have enough irrefutable scientific evidence for you to ponder and pause. So the question is, can you remain in a state of appreciation and connection and not dive into anger, frustration, revenge, or powerlessness when something seemingly unwanted happens to you? There isn't anyone who has been in a traffic accident that has pondered, what if I was just 2 seconds slower or faster? All of this would have been avoided. When someone cuts you off in traffic, you may initially knee-jerk with anger, but what if that driver literally saved your life? Isn't it better to vibrate and harmonize with appreciation than anger? Harmonic law says yes. So these are kind of fun, sticky thoughts. You will have no trouble ever forgetting this information. One, because it's data around such a big event like 9/11, and because of the truths like this adhere to your soul in an inexplicable manner. So when bad or unwanted events seemingly happen to you, take a step back and don't fret, because there is irrefutable scientific evidence that it is all for your good. And yes, the universe has your back. Not because it's nice or mean. Harmonic law is 100% impartial, like gravity. You just won't match up with unwanted because you are not in harmony with it. So let's go back to the third point of always and only focus on the end result. So what is the end result of a desire in essence? Does harmonic law say that you can create anything that you want? No. Can you plant a corn seed and grow an international space station? No. Or can you manifest a kitten to grow into an elephant? No. But can you manifest something outrageous and amazing and undeniable that shows you your power? Yes. Can you manifest Bill Gates to give you all his money? No. Harmonic law doesn't let you control others' free will. Can you get in harmony with outrageous financial abundance and become a billionaire yourself with no help from Bill? Yes. Can you force someone to fall in love with you? Or can you force someone to text you? No. Can you get in harmony with a delicious mutual relationship and attract someone who is in perfect harmony with your vibrational offering? Yes. Because that's what you really want, in essence. In answering the question, how specific should we be? The rule of thumb is be as specific as you can and still feel a positive emotional indicator. For example, if you want $1 billion by Friday, that's probably too specific. If you want to be shown your abundance in a fun and creative way, that feels much better. Now, a lot of people don't trust the universe. They sort of want to micromanage everything. But in that effort, you are showing your lack of trust, and you can't receive it under those conditions. Let's say there is water running down a mountainside. Some people have no trust and they want to yell at the universe and try to give us suggestions on what path the water should run down. You don't need to do that. It knows the fastest way. So don't try and micromanage any of the middle steps. You just focus on the end result of feeling healthy, being in a delicious relationship, feeling free in abundance, or whatever else. The universe can surprise and delight you in ways you haven't even dreamed. Isn't a surprise gift so much more satisfying than one you just bought? Isn't a life-changing experience that teaches you how loved and powerful you are much better than just reading the words, "You are loved and powerful"? Yes. So don't fret being somewhat general about your intentions and enjoy the endless parade of surprising and delighting events. Examples of not focusing on the end result: test scores, getting into a specific school, any amount of money, getting a specific job, specific actions of specific people. All of these are middle steps to the end result. So those that don't yet have experience in trusting the universe want to micromanage everything. If you want to know how close you are getting to your manifestation, just think about the subject, and if you feel happy and your soul is soaring at the mere thought, you can be assured that you are getting closer. If you are feeling sad, frustrated, that it's not here, or are impatient, you can know that you have stalled its advancement. Quote, "If you don't feel happy about the money, it can't come. If you feel sad that it hasn't come yet, you're a match to it not coming yet. So it continues to not come because that's the vibration you're practicing." Abraham Hicks. You have to enjoy the process. The really and happy fun road leads to a really and happy fun destination. The frustrated, annoyed, and sad road leads to frustrated, annoyed, and sad destinations. It is law. You cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. These are the foundational pillars to understand how harmony works. We will refer to them again and again. Let's go to part 2, application.